Hey church, Pastor Joshua here. I hope you all are doing well. Normally I make one of these videos on the text that we're going through in our Bible reading plan, and I was preparing to do that. We're going through Numbers right now, and I was going to make one on the bronze serpent. I might still do that later, I don't know. But I was reading from this morning in Psalm 17, and it just hit me very impactfully, and I thought I might share it with you all for what I pray is your comfort, your encouragement, your conviction. It's mainly the last two verses, but I'll read the entire thing for us. It's only 15 verses. It's a prayer of David, Psalm 17. Hear a just cause, O Lord. Attend to my cry. Give ear to my prayer, which is not from deceitful lips. Let my vindication come from your presence. Let your eyes look on the things that are upright. You have tested my heart. You have visited me in the night. You have tried me and found nothing. I have purposed that my mouth shall not transgress. Concerning the works of men, by the word of your lips I have kept away from the paths of the destroyer. Uphold my steps in your paths, that my footsteps may not slip. I have called upon you, for you will hear me, O God. Incline your ear to me and hear my speech. Show your marvelous loving kindness by your right hand. O you who save those who trust in you, from those who rise up against them, keep me as the apple of your eye. Hide me under the shadow of your wings, from the wicked who oppress me, from my deadly enemies who surround me. They have closed up their fat hearts. With their mouths they speak proudly. They have now surrounded us in our steps. They have set their eyes, crouching down to the earth, as a lion is eager to tear his prey, and like a young lion lurking in secret places. Arise, O Lord, confront him, cast him down, deliver my life from the wicked with your sword. Are these last two verses that I want to talk about. With your hand, from men, O Lord, from men of the world who have their portion in this life, and whose belly you fill with your hidden treasure. They are satisfied with children and leave the rest of their possession for their babes. But as for me, I will see your face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake in your likeness. It's those last two verses that, particularly verse 15, that last verse that really struck me as I was reading it this morning. As for me, David says, I will see your face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake in your likeness. He's contrasting himself there in verse 15 and the hope of all Christians with the wicked, and specifically in verse 14, people who only have hope in this life, are the people that are his enemies, that are seeking to destroy him, and ultimately who are enemies of the Lord, who have no faith or hope in the Lord, who have no trust in the Lord. He says their portion is in this life. Their bellies are filled with treasure. They're satisfied with children, and that's a good thing. But what he's getting at is that that's the best that they've got. They only have hope in this life because they don't have hope in Yahweh. There's nothing more in this life. There's nothing that comes afterwards. So the best that they can do is try to pile up treasures, to try and get all that they can to build up their kingdoms here and now. And the best thing that they can do is to pass it on to their children. And the wise man does, we should say, seek to be a blessing to his children. So that's not necessarily a wrong thing in and of itself. But David is getting to the point that they've got nothing beyond that. All they can do is build up their kingdom. They have no hope after death because they have no hope in the Lord. David, on the other hand, in verse 15 says, where is my hope? What am I looking for? They will be satisfied in their possessions. I shall be satisfied when I awake in your likeness. When I awake, when he sees God at death, when he is resurrected, when he comes into the presence of God and he is in his glory, when I awake in your likeness, in your glory, in your goodness, and I see your face. That is what I'm hoping for. That is what I have my sights set on. That is what I am working towards. That is what I will be satisfied with. The things of this world are good. They're gifts from God. We should steward them well. But they're not it. They're not all that we have, church. We have hope in Christ. We have hope in the resurrection, that this life isn't the end all be all, isn't the end. But at the resurrection, when we will see God in our new eternal bodies on this new restored, remade earth, where we will walk with him and know him and see his face and bask in his glory forevermore. That's what we will be satisfied in. So that really just encouraged me not to put all of our stock in this life, right? Because ultimately it goes away so quick, right? 1 minute we have great things, we have money in the bank account, and tomorrow it's all gone. Unforeseen bills or tragedies or what have you. One day we have health, the next day we're in the hospital, right? We love the things of this world. We treat them as good gifts that God's given to us, but they're not the end. They're not all that we have. For those who hope in Christ, we have eternity. We have the expectation and the joy that we will see his face in righteousness. That is the ultimate hope of the Christian. And so perhaps you're despaired today. Perhaps you're going through a trial. Christian, it's not the end for you. This is just a chapter. This is just a trial in your life. Someday, you will see God. You will see his face in righteousness. Someday, you will awake in his likeness, in his glory. That is the hope you are to live for today. That's where you are to set your sights. So much better and so much satisfying than keeping our eyes set on these things. So don't give to that temptation to practically think that this is it. Keep your eyes set on Christ. That's for your good and for his glory. I hope you all are well. Can't wait to see you Sunday.